In this video, I'm going to show you how to program some typical inbound calls on the SL1100. In part 1, I'll show you how to use incoming ring groups to make multiple phones ring at the same time. And if no one can answer those incoming calls, I'll show you how to make them overflow to the InMail. In part 2, I'll show you how you can use incoming ring group programming to have the voicemail answer inbound calls immediately. And in part 3, I'll demonstrate how to use direct inward line programming so that an inbound call rings a specific extension. If the person can't answer the call, it will forward directly into that extension's personal mailbox. Let's get started with part 1, incoming ring groups. During this video, I'm going to use a PC Pro simulation to demonstrate how to program the SL1100. Although I don't demonstrate it here, when you use PC Pro, you must follow these steps. First, connect to the system. Second, download the database. Third, modify the current programming. Fourth, upload the changes. Fifth, disconnect from the SL1100. Sixth, wait for the changes to write to the processor's memory. And seventh, test the programming changes. Many customers want multiple phones to ring on inbound calls, and if no one can answer the call, they want it to overflow to the voicemail. You can do that quickly and easily using incoming ring groups. To make incoming ring groups work, you use the following programs: 2202, 2205, and 2204. And if you want the calls to overflow to the voicemail, you have to use two other programs, 2201 and 2208. Okay, let's do the incoming ring group programming. To begin, you need to verify or modify the incoming call trunk setup found in program 2202. To get there, you need to select the System Data Programming option, which you can find by clicking the View menu at the top of PC Pro. After selecting System Data Programming, you expand Program 22 and select Program 2202. At default, all of the trunks connected to the system are defined as normal for all of the 8 modes available. For right now, we'll use Mode 1 to program inbound calls during normal business hours. When trunks are defined as normal, you then use programs 2205 and 2204 to create an incoming ring group that matches the trunks with the extensions. Let's start with program 2205. If you place your cursor over one of the fields in program 2205, you'll see an information bubble, which tells you that you can assign the trunks to one of 25 incoming ring groups. At default, all trunks are assigned to incoming ring group 1 for all 8 modes. If you want, you can assign the trunks to a different incoming ring group, but I'm going to accept the default assignment and make no changes. After verifying or modifying the incoming ring group for the trunks, you need to assign the appropriate extensions to the same incoming ring group. To do that, you select program 2204. In program 2205, all the trunks are assigned to incoming ring group 1 for all of the modes. In program 2204, the first 8 extensions are assigned to incoming ring group 1 at default, which means that if you don't want to make any changes, the first 8 extensions will automatically ring on inbound calls. But let's say you only want the first 2 extensions to ring on inbound calls. To do that, you just delete the remaining extensions from incoming ring group 1. Then, to save the change, you click the Apply button. By the way, every extension can be assigned to multiple incoming ring groups if needed. After making this change, inbound calls will only ring extensions 101 and 102. Okay, now let's program these calls to overflow to the voicemail if no one can answer them at extensions 101 and 102. To do that, you need to make two changes. First, you need to define how long you want the calls to ring on extensions 101 and 102. Second, you need to tell the system where the calls should be routed when that timer expires. To define how long the phone should ring for incoming calls, you select Program 2201. Item 04 is the timer that regulates how long the call should ring before it gets routed to another destination. At default, this timer is set to 0 seconds, and the calls will not overflow anywhere. Let's change this timer to 20 seconds, which should be plenty of time to answer the calls. Then, make sure you save the change by clicking the Apply button. The last thing you need to do to make the calls overflow to the InMail is assign the destination of the unanswered call. To do that, you select Program 2208. At default, all trunks are routed to incoming ring group 1 for all of the modes. If you want the voicemail to answer these calls, you enter incoming ring group 102. Please note, this is not an extension. Instead, it is the incoming ring group for the voicemail ports. Okay, let's review how you program incoming calls to ring on phones and then have them overflow to the voicemail. First, you go to Program 2202 and assign the trunks as normal. Next, you go to Program 2205 and assign the trunks to the desired incoming ring group for the appropriate mode. Last, you go to Program 2204 and assign the extensions you want to ring in the same incoming ring group as the trunks. If you want those calls to overflow anywhere else, you go to Program 2201 and change item 04 to the desired number of seconds. Last, you go to Program 2208 and assign the overflow destination for each trunk in each mode. In Part 2, you learn how to use incoming ring group programming to have the voicemail answer calls immediately.